Hey folks, just only me again, and with another little bit of theoretical, modulational kind of interesting things that I've been reading recently, and specifically, I want to talk a little bit today about something called the Dorian 6th Chord. Dorian 6th Chord. This is a concept that I recently discovered in this little book by Max Reger. Folks who don't know this, it's called as modulation. It's a supplements to the theory of modulation. It was published, on the theory of modulation, Beiträge zur Modulationslehre, in 1904. I picked that up at the University of Illinois and had meant to read it, and I'm finally getting around to it, and it's sort of an interesting little book. My personal opinion is that he relies way too much on the Neapolitan 6th chord for his modulations, but that's just my opinion. But one of the things that he did talk a little bit about, or he just something new that I've never heard of before, and maybe other people have, is called the Dorian 6th chord. Dorian 6th chord. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. And I want to start, first of all, by considering probably the easiest way to do this is to start by considering the D natural minor scale. D, E, F, G, A, B flat, and C with a D on top. So the D natural minor scale looks like that. So that's the D natural minor scale. There it is, all labeled and everything. Natural minor scale starting on D. Okay, now the next thing is to compare that with the Dorian mode. And the easiest way to do that, of course, the Dorian mode is white notes on the piano from D up to D. So let's compare the D natural minor scale with the D Dorian mode. And what you'll find is that they're practically the same, except for the 6th scale degree. So the Dorian mode. See that? Yeah, there's the Dorian mode. Okay, there's the Dorian, and you'll notice that when you got them both on D, the only thing that's really different is the 6th scale degree. The natural minor scale sounds like this. And the D Dorian mode the D Dorian mode. Okay, and it's this 6th chord that Reger takes and develops a little bit, in that he could use this raised 6th scale degree of the Dorian scale as either the 3rd of a chord or the 5th of the chord. Pardon me, sorry, didn't quite do that right. Yeah, so that you can use this as either as a 5th of the chord or the 3rd of the chord. Okay, there we go. The 5th of the chord or the 3rd of the chord. And the 3rd of a major chord, a major chord with B as the 3rd, would be G, B, and D. Clear enough. G, B, and D. And the B natural as the 5th of a minor chord, of course, is B, E, and G. B, G, E. There, like so. So those are that's what what he uses as particularly as the Dorian 6th chord. Reger really likes to use the GBD. The GBD is that Dorian 6th chord. And he voices it like so. So, do this quickly. So he voices this Dorian 6th chord like so, the G. All right, I'm looking at this thing right here. All right. And he uses that as a Neapolitan 6th chord. He uses that as a Neapolitan 6th chord to get, of all places, to G flat major, 6 flats, because B, right, G, because he gets to G flat major by respelling, hang on a second, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Right, it goes from 1 flat to 6 flats very quickly by using this GBD and over here, the GBD, the G, hang on a second, B natural, D, and G in one flat gets respelled as A double flat, C flat, and E double flat, right? Which is, of course, the Neapolitan in G flat major. So in G flat major, this enharmonic respelling enables folks or people to move from 1 flat to 6 flats, or enharmonically, right? If you respell the G flat as F sharp, you get to move from 1 flat to 6 sharps very, very, very smoothly. Okay, so sort of like this. D, E to a 5/7 to a 1, and then to this, and I didn't do that very well. Yeah, sorry, I didn't do that terribly. Let's try it again. All right, the D minor, 1, 4, 5/7 to 1, right? Then use the G major chord as the Neapolitan to get to this, and then neat little progression, huh? Let me do that again. Now that I've got the progression. Awful piano player here, but you get the idea. So here we go. D minor. Hang on, turn this up a bit. D minor, 2 in D minor, 5/7 to D minor, back to D minor, then a G major chord, which is respelled as a Neapolitan in the new key, going to a 5/7 in the new key, like so. So you can easily get a major third away from your minor home key. So you're blasting along in D minor, right? Right, and all of a sudden, kaboom! With this thing, you very quickly can move from to either G flat major, or F sharp major, right? And it's a very dramatic looking, on paper, it's really quite dramatic looking to move from basically a major third away, right, from one flat to 5 sharps. That's quite a change. But it's also you actually sound it. It's actually kind of smooth. So it's a very dramatic looking, but I think quite a smooth modulation. Anyway, just thought that was kind of interesting. The Dorian 6th Chord. If you want to read more about that, this book, Max Reger's Modulation, or it's called the On the Theory of Modulation, or Beiträge zur Modulationslehre in the Good Deutsch. And yeah, I sort of thought it was kind of interesting, and I thought I'd share that with you, and hope that's an interesting part of your day. All right, I'll talk with you soon. Bye for now.